A new motorhome from China just fired a direct shot at the heart of the US RV industry. Not through marketing, but through the numbers. $55,000. While in the US, buyers are shelling out $200,000 to $300,000 for RVs with technology that has remained stagnant for decades, China has released a completely different generation packing a 55 kilowatt-hour battery, a hybrid powertrain, and solar energy, functioning as a true mobile smart home. It's a direct disruption, not just on price, but on the very architecture of how this industry is built. In this video, you'll see why a single motorhome is forcing the entire American RV market to take a long, hard look in the mirror. The global motorhome industry isn't collapsing because of a single new product, but because of a truth that has persisted for over half a century. The traditional RV model is essentially a fragmented assembly chain. Manufacturers buy chassis from third parties like Ford or Mercedes, bolt on interiors from dozens of different suppliers, and stack costs through every middleman before hitting the market at prices reaching $200,000 to $300,000. A multi-layered structure. And there is almost zero real innovation. Products still revolve around aging diesel engines, familiar layouts, and decades-old issues like poor insulation or water leaks. Stagnant technology. Worse yet is the value. The moment it leaves the lot, an RV can lose up to 20% of its value, turning freedom into an uncontrollable long-term expense. Instant depreciation. Meanwhile, user demands have shifted rapidly. People no longer want a vehicle just for camping. They are looking for a flexible living space. One that allows for remote work, continuous travel, and off-grid independence. A home, but mobile. And that void created the opportunity. From having almost no market presence in 2019, China took less than 5 years to step in and start redefining the entire game. A massive leap, not through marketing, but through the product. In less than 5 years, by 2025, they haven't just joined the game, they've started redefining it. If the Western RV industry is a story of repetition, then these machines are a complete rewrite, a completely different philosophy. First is the Wanuka T5DM Pro Max, often dubbed the Tesla of ERVs. But the real story isn't the name, it's the architecture. The entire powertrain no longer relies solely on an internal combustion engine. Instead, it uses a hybrid system, pairing a massive 55 kilowatt-hour battery with a diesel engine that acts as a generator, creating a closed-loop energy system capable of powering the entire rig for days at a time. A mobile energy ecosystem. This completely changes the experience. No more hunting for shore power, no more limiting your AC, stove, or appliances. Everything runs independently. And when combined with massive rooftop solar arrays, the vehicle essentially becomes a self-sustaining home. No dependence, no limits. Inside, instead of heavy wood panels and the cheap cabinet feel typical of traditional Class Cs, Wanuka uses lightweight, durable composites. It feels more like a luxury yacht interior than a standard camper. A massive leap in user experience. The second machine, the Great Walpole RV, takes a different approach. It doesn't aim for ultra luxury. It focuses on maximizing efficiency at its price point. Built on a true 4x4 pickup chassis, featuring locking differentials and an active four-wheel drive system, it goes where most traditional RVs simply can't. An RV with genuine off-road capability. Despite its compact footprint, the interior is fully optimized with a bathroom, kitchen, and living area, and it even features an electric slide-out system to expand the living space once you're parked. Smaller, but smarter. But here's the detail that stopped the industry cold. The price. At roughly $55,000 in China, it's nearly 3 times cheaper than a Class B in the US, even though it offers more technology and more flexibility. A pricing shockwave. Finally, the Dongfeng MS600 represents a completely different philosophy. Instead of amenities or cost-saving, it's built as a true expedition fortress. Sitting on a heavy-duty truck chassis with a 300 horsepower diesel engine and massive torque, it's built for the harshest conditions on Earth. No roads, no infrastructure, no support. Expedition-grade independent suspension, oversized all-terrain tires, and a 15,000-pound recovery winch turn this vehicle into a literal survival platform. Every detail is engineered for mobility in environments where traditional RVs would be left stranded. A survival machine. Unlike the West, where an RV is often just an interior bolted onto a pre-existing chassis, the MS600 was purpose-built from the ground up. The mechanics, the living space, and the performance were developed on one unified system. Not an assembly, but a clean sheet design. These three machines prove one thing. China isn't just making better RVs. They are turning the motorhome from an expensive camping vehicle into a mobile technology platform where power, living space, and performance are integrated into one complete system. Not an upgrade, a change of the rules. So what exactly sets it apart from a traditional RV? The answer isn't found in a single feature, but in how the entire system has been reimagined from the ground up, where these machines are no longer just vehicles with an interior, but closer to a mobile smart home where everything is connected, controlled, and optimized as a unified ecosystem. A home that thinks. Instead of manual switches and disjointed control panels, these new motorhomes integrate voice control, allowing users to turn on the air conditioning, adjust lighting, or operate appliances with a simple command, while facial recognition personalizes the entire space, from temperature and lighting to seat positions, the moment you step inside. No touch, just voice. Beneath that user experience is AI, which doesn't stop at convenience but is fully integrated into the operation, featuring pedestrian detection, collision warnings, and driving assistance in complex environments, making a bulky RV far easier to handle in real-world situations. A system that's always watching. But the real breakthrough isn't in the interface. It's in the energy. Chinese motorhomes are now being equipped with high-output solar arrays paired with high-capacity storage batteries, allowing the vehicle to function as a mobile power station where all onboard appliances can run for days without an external power source. A closed-loop energy cycle. More importantly, AI doesn't just manage power. It optimizes it in real time, automatically distributing electricity based on usage needs, weather conditions, and remaining battery levels, extending off-grid living capability by up to 40% compared to traditional systems. No waste, no interruptions. And when energy is no longer a limitation, operational performance begins to expand. A recent viral video captured the contrast perfectly. A Chinese motorhome priced around $65,000 effortlessly climbing rocky terrain, while a US RV model worth over $200,000 was left stuck on a dirt road. One side is designed for reality. The other is an aging legacy. So what is really behind this leap, where China isn't just building better motorhomes, but causing the entire traditional RV industry to falter? The answer doesn't lie in a single technology. It lies in a system of advantages built simultaneously. A mature platform. This doesn't just increase energy autonomy, it fundamentally changes how the vehicle operates. The motorhome is no longer dependent on the internal combustion engine as its sole power source. It becomes a complete electrified system where mobility and daily living coexist within a unified architecture. One system, not two separate parts. The second advantage lies in production efficiency. China possesses a massive automotive industrial scale combined with a nearly complete domestic supply chain. This allows them to control everything from the smallest component to the final assembly, cutting costs by 50 to 60% compared to Western models that rely on dozens of independent suppliers. Fewer middlemen, lower costs. But more importantly, the speed. A new design can be tested, refined, and brought to market in a significantly shorter time frame, creating a loop of continuous improvement that traditional production models simply cannot match. An accelerating machine. But the biggest advantage doesn't lie in technology or production. It lies in the mindset. While most Western RV brands still view a motorhome as a camper that is gradually upgraded over time, China approaches it as a mobile smart device. Energy, software, and living space are designed simultaneously from the start as an integrated ecosystem. A completely different definition. This perspective allows them to bypass old limitations and ignore standards that have been stagnant for decades. They are creating products that are not only cheaper, but also more aligned with the real-world needs of modern users. Not incremental improvement, but rebuilding from the foundation. How much longer can the old model survive? The passenger vehicle, RV market in 2025 has seen a major shift as demand for long-term travel and mobile living surges. In terms of specific figures, the US remains the world's largest market with hundreds of thousands of units sold annually, followed by Europe with its established brands, while China, despite being an emerging market, is the fastest growing market. An established order is shifting. Put these rigs head to head. A typical US Class B, like a Winnebago or Airstream, averages between $150,000 and $200,000. They rely on Mercedes or Ford chassis, disjointed auxiliary power systems, and an off-grid capability limited to just 1 or 2 days. Meanwhile, a model like the Great Wall Power RV costs only about $55,000, yet it offers a 4x4 drivetrain, expandable space, and far superior flexibility in real-world terrain, nearly 3 times cheaper, but with a much broader range of use. In the higher-end segment, European RV brands like Hymer or Berstner offer high-quality finishes, but still rely on traditional electrical systems. In contrast, Chinese models like the Wanuka T5DM Pro Max integrate a 55 kilowatt-hour battery hybrid system and solar power, allowing all onboard devices to operate for days without needing to be plugged in. One side requires infrastructure. The other is self-sustaining. Even in the expedition segment, Western RVs are often just upgraded vans. The Dongfeng MS600, however, utilizes a heavy-duty truck chassis, a 300 horsepower engine, independent suspension, and a 15,000-pound winch, allowing it to operate in remote areas where most traditional RVs simply cannot reach, not even on the same level. This disparity stems from the production structure. Winnebago, Thor, or Hymer still source their chassis from third parties and assemble interiors from multiple suppliers. Meanwhile, companies like BYD and Maxus produce everything in-house, from batteries and motors to powertrains and software. This creates a closed-loop system that slashes costs and optimizes performance from the very first sketch. No middlemen. With a domestic market of over 1.4 billion people, Chinese manufacturers can achieve massive economies of scale to drive prices down. They are now taking those products international at significantly lower price points. And their expansion into Europe, starting in 2025, proves they are no longer just testing the waters, they are ready for direct competition. This revolution is no longer on paper, nor is it just concepts appearing at trade shows. It has already begun in the real market, as new generation motorhomes force the entire RV industry to face a question they have avoided for decades. Where does the true value of a motorhome lie? Not in the brand, not in history, but in what the user actually gets. For over 50 years, the Western RV industry has operated on a model that remained virtually unchanged, where products are built on legacy platforms, drip-fed improvements year after year, and priced based on brand prestige rather than actual technology, creating a market where users accepted paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for an experience that didn't fundamentally evolve. A state of stability, but also a comfort zone. And then the arrival of Chinese motorhomes shattered that status quo, not by outperforming in a few isolated specs, but by resetting the entire approach where the motorhome is no longer viewed as a camper, but as a mobile living system, where energy, software, and space are integrated as a complete technological platform. A new definition. This leads to a very clear consequence. When a product can provide more technology, greater operational flexibility, and a significantly lower price point, the entire legacy pricing structure begins to lose its logic, and users for the first time in years have a genuine alternative, no longer locked into one ecosystem. And when users have a choice, the market will change. No long lead times needed, no waiting required. From a personal perspective, this isn't just competition between nations or brands, but a shift in how this industry operates, where the advantage no longer belongs to those with the longest history, but to those with the ability to redefine the product the fastest. Speed becomes the deciding factor. This puts American RV manufacturers in a very clear position. They cannot continue to rely on the old model. They cannot continue to hike prices for minor improvements, and they certainly cannot ignore what is happening. Because as the gap in technology and value widens, the market will correct itself, and that process often happens faster than legacy businesses predict. A silent shift, but irreversible. Without a big and rapid enough change, brands that once led the pack could find themselves in the same situation as many industries before them, where they aren't defeated by a stronger opponent playing by the same rules, but replaced by a rival who changed the rules from the start. A scenario we've seen before. And that is the most notable point of this revolution. It doesn't just create new products, it creates new standards. When users get used to a motorhome that can self-sustain its power for days, that connects and controls like a smart home, and can move flexibly across various terrains at a significantly lower cost, then the old standards will no longer be enough to convince them to go back. Expectations have shifted. And once expectations change, the entire industry is forced to follow. The question now isn't whether China can compete with the Western RVOB industry, but how fast the Western RV industry can react. Because in a market where users increasingly understand real value, where information is no longer limited, and where technology can spread at lightning speed, the only remaining advantage isn't scale or history, but the ability to adapt. And looking further ahead, this might just be the beginning. As the motorhome becomes part of a broader mobile living trend, as the demand for flexible space and energy independence continues to rise, what's happening today might only be the first version of a much larger shift in how humans live and move. An irreversible trend. Ultimately, every technological revolution leads to the same outcome. Those who adapt will survive. Those who don't will be left behind. And in this game, time stands still for no one. The game has shifted, not through a minor upgrade, but by redefining the entire motorhome as a mobile living system. It is a singular, unified entity where technology, energy, and the user experience are seamlessly integrated, rendering old standards increasingly irrelevant over time. A structural shift. And once that happens, the market will never go back to the way it was. So, in your opinion, is this just a passing trend or the dawn of a completely new era for the RV industry? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Massive Tech so you never miss the technologies changing our world.